Hello, 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 and welcome back to Mondays with Matt. I am so delighted to have you here, whether you're watching on Facebook Live or whether you're watching on YouTube, as I am uploading my Mondays with Matts to YouTube as well. And I hope you're enjoying it, no matter where in the world you're seeing it. For those of you who do not know, my name is Matt Shaver. I'm a transformational speaker and coach for women. I coach women around empowerment, connection, and relationship. And I'm absolutely obsessed with the work that I do and the clients that I serve, my incredible magnets, and all my followers and over on the YouTube tribe. And this is my weekly show, Mondays with Matt, my weekly co-creative Facebook Live conversation that I have been doing every week since January 2nd of 2017, believe it or not. And I'm so delighted to have you here. This experience is, it's a sacred experience and it is a co-creative conversation. So I want y'all to engage. I want y'all to interact with me because your involvement is part of what makes this show so magical. Hi, Valerie. Good to see you, my dear. Debbie Bruce is here. Hi, Debbie. Jane Frericks is here. Say that 3 times fast. And yeah, I'm really excited about today's topic, right? Today, I want to talk about a topic that came up because I was working with a client and student and they were telling me about how just the concept of goals triggered them. How goals are like, are seemingly like it feels exclusionary to them. Goals are very like, they just bring up a lot of resistance, right? When somebody thinks of goals, right? So I relate to that. Give me a 1 if you can relate to the whole concept of goal setting being something that, makes you like freak, makes you feel just like anxious or makes you stressed out, right? Everybody tells you goals are what we're supposed to be creating, what we're supposed to be doing. And really at the end of the day, like I want to reframe this conversation because I feel that when we become goal obsessed, when we become goal fixated, right, we end up putting too much pressure on ourselves. We end up cutting ourselves off from so many deeper and greater possibilities that are available to us, okay? So the topic we're going to be getting into is an alternative to goals, an alternative way to create results in your life. Because whether you believe it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you accept it or not, you are a powerful and profound creator in this world. You are a powerful and profound creative force, right? The question is, how are you harnessing your creative force? Are you doing it unconsciously or are you doing it consciously? That's what we're going to dig into today. What's up, Sarah Flip? Good to see you. And so if you're watching on YouTube, take a second, hit that little subscribe button. I got a new baby YouTube channel where I'm uploading all my Mondays with Matts and all my motivational and inspirational content. So you want to make sure that you hit that subscribe and you hit that little bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. I'm going to be uploading older videos, older Mondays with Matts, as well as my new ones too on this channel. So come join the party. What's up, Sarah Flips here? Hi, Sarah. Heather Haruska Kasperson is here. And so let's talk about this. Let's talk about an alternative to goals. That's what I want to talk about is embracing intention. Embracing intentions, right? So why would embracing intention be a different, a more effective way of creating in this world than just doing straight up goal setting? Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's so important and so powerful that we consciously embrace intention in our lives? Because I'll be the first person to tell you, it makes a huge difference. Intentions versus goals. That's really at the core of what we're talking about right now. Hi, Sarah Angeletti. Good to see you, my dear. So let's talk about it. So as I just mentioned, right, goals and goal setting, it comes with a lot of baggage. It comes with a lot of resistance, right? Whether we hit our goals or not hit our goals can create a lot of judgment in our lives, can create it creates a very pass-fail binary system, right? And we can, a lot of times, the danger of becoming goal fixated and goal obsessed is we become outcome dependent. We become outcome dependent, right? I need to hit this goal or else, right? Or else I'm a failure, or else I'm devaluing myself, or else, I'm not enough, right? We can become very outcome dependent on goals, on specific goals. And as someone said beautifully here, right? Like also when we become goal dependent, we get tunnel vision, and that will cut us off from possibilities, right? Because here is the power, right? The power is not in the power of creation, right? It doesn't exist in setting a specific goal and then hitting that specific goal. The power of goal creation, the power of setting intentions, the power of any of this is moving forward with focus and intentionality towards what it is that you want to create. So intention, when we operate with intention, we're still moving forward, right? We're still moving forward in a powerful and conscious way, but we're much more open. I'm setting an intention to create a powerful relationship, right? I'm setting an intention to love the work that I do. It's not saying I'm going to get a new job by December 28th of, 2020. Do you see the difference here? Because here's what I've found is that the life that I've created, right? The life that has unfolded for me isn't something that I could have mapped out on a vision board. It isn't a result of a specific, set of goals that I lived and died by every week in or week out, right? I set powerful intentions, right? That basically were the course that I charted, right? It was like setting a location in my GPS, like that set a general direction in which I want to go. And as I moved in that direction, with intentionality, with specific intention of what it is that I wanted to create in the world, as opportunities flowed into my life, I was open to receiving them. I was open to picking them up. I was able to divert and change course, right? Like my first intention, my first commitment was to get 10 one-on-one clients as a coach, right? That was the first thing I wanted to create. And as I moved and flowed towards that with intentionality, and I started to get those one-on-one clients, it became clear, right? Another idea popped into my head. Oh my gosh, I think I want to start a YouTube channel from all the feedback I was getting. And I'm like, okay, great. Well, I'm going to start this YouTube channel. This wasn't my original goal, but this is another thing that flowed in, and I listened to my intuition. I listened to the intuition, to all the signs and the communication that was flowing out of my intentional activity. And this is the magic, y'all. This is the magic of when we live and operate from an intentional space and we operate consciously and in the present moment, is that we become more perceptive to more opportunities that are opening up to us. Can y'all get on board with this? Give me a 1 if you can get on board with this. What's up, Brianne? Donna Dillon is here. Susan Whitehead. Dawn Crow Lindsay. Dana Cote. Exactly. Thank you, Fosca, for sharing this with the group. Dana says, intention is a higher level than our beliefs, behavior, and language. Exactly, right? Intention is that broad operating from higher consciousness, moving towards what it is that we want to create, but being open to all the amazing things that could flow in as we move towards that thing. Fundamentally, being intentional means being conscious. Being intentional means being present. Being intentional means being focused, but not in a way that we're closed off or judgmental. Are you with me? Does this make sense? So do you see the power that exists no matter what work we're doing, whether we're doing work on ourselves, whether we're doing work to create a new career for ourselves or a new relationship or just create shift in our lives? When we operate with intentionality, we're going to be moving towards it every day, but we're not going to be operating with the same sort of rigidity. When we operate with intention, we're fundamentally more flexible. You see what I'm saying? And that flexibility is important because one of the keys to success that I have found in my life, that I've discovered in every person that I've listened to or that I've researched in my own research into personal development and with my clients and students, is one of the keys and hallmarks of success is flexibility. Okay? So intentionality means you're not focused on the end point, you're more focused on the trajectory of where things are going. Okay? The direction in which you're going. And and here's the key of intentionality. The key to intentionality is alignment. Does this make sense? You want to make sure that the direction in which you're moving with intention is in alignment with who you are in that moment. This is another danger of setting goals, right? When we're operating with this really rigid goal setting paradigm, a lot of times like goal setting can pull us outside of ourselves because we're willing to sacrifice anything to accomplish the goal, including ourselves, including our alignment. But when you operate intentionally, as you're moving forward committed to a space of alignment. Okay? And so I wanted you to look at the overlap and the intersection between intention and alignment. Okay? This is super, super, super important. And I'll tell you about when it all really happened to me, right? I had my restaurant. My restaurant had kind of blown up. It just didn't work out, right? I had a restaurant for 5 years, the Pita Pit at San Diego State University, and it was a huge goal of mine for this restaurant to be successful, and I was going to do it, and I was going to crush it, and then it ended up not working out, and that was devastating for me at the identity level, right? Before that, I had been a lawyer, right? And so I had been a lawyer for 3 years, and it operated with a great degree of goal setting with that. It was like, set the specific goal, I'm going to become a lawyer, I'm going to do this, and then I did that, and then that didn't work, right? So at the end of these 2 careers, I had spent 10 years and $250,000 accomplishing goals. I had accomplished every goal that I had. I had the restaurant. We doubled the sales at the restaurant. I had become an attorney. I had been a very, an effective attorney. But at the end of the day, none of it was in alignment with who I was. And so at the end of the day, I was miserable and it failed. And so once all that stuff had burned down around me, and I found myself on unemployment in my buddy's townhouse, and I was just like, okay, I'm done with goals. I'm done with goals. All right? What I now choose, the commitment I made in that space was to, instead of operating from a goal-setting perspective, I'm going to set intentions. I'm going to set an intention to always move forward from a space of alignment. I'm going to set an intention to be happy every day. I'm going to set an intention to discover who I truly am and find a career and a life path that's in alignment with that. You see what I'm saying? Instead of saying, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to accomplish a goal, I said, I'm going to move forward and I'm going to live with conscious intentionality every day moving forward. And if that leads me to, being famous or making a bunch of money, great, right? If it leads to me having a family, great. If I end up, poor and with no family, also great. The greater intention, the greater priority for me is that no matter where I go, it gets to be in alignment for me more than anything. So that was my primary intention. So I want you to think of like an intention as like the foundation under a house, right? If you don't have a strong intention at the foundation of whatever it is that you're building, the intention, yeah. Nicole says people keep pushing me to state goals. Nope, exactly, always shifting. And that's the thing, when we set intentions, they are more flexible. They're able to stay in alignment with who we are and what we're creating. This is I think a lot of times the danger that people have in relationship, right? Is instead of, setting an intention to stay connected and congruent and in alignment with, themselves, they say, I want to be married by X date. I'm not going to date a person for more than a certain amount of time. They set these rigid goals around their relationship trajectories and then shove the relationship that they're into that box, and try to make a relationship fit within a box, rather than committing to the organic cultivation of mutual intention and trajectory with each other. Do you see that? Do you see what happens is that sometimes in our lives, we have a tendency to try to will something into creation, right? We set a goal and we say, this is what I'm happening, this is what I'm standing for, and I'm going to make life fit within my box. Whereas when we're operating with intention, we're operating with conscious, flexible alignment. Okay, around this. Yeah. So Carmela says, I need to learn more about this. Yeah, Carmela, and I think it'd be powerful. I think it would be a powerful thing for you, right? And this is the thing for a lot of women who have lived their whole lives being very goal oriented and being very, I don't want to say masculine, but kind of masculine in the sense where it's like, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to do this. I'm going to create this by this date within this framework, and this is it, right? That sort of like, pushing goal-oriented way of living, it can be effective, but it's pretty masculine. And as Karen says, intention is more feminine energy. Exactly. When we're operating with intention, we're operating from a present, heart-centered, connected space, right? And it's still focused, and it's still, it's still a creative process, but it's more leading with your heart. It's leading with your intuition. It's leading with your, your connected commitment to creating from a place of alignment, rather than goal setting, which is get the thing done at all costs. So do you see how softer and more flexible and more dynamic and more feminine, operating from a space of intention is, right? Your intention could be to feel a certain way. Like, I'm setting an intention to feel good every day. I'm setting an intention to meaningfully connect with people in my life, right? This way, it's not a pass fail binary masculine, succeed or crash and burn situation. It makes life more intuitive. It makes life more organic. It makes life more fun. Because here's the thing, y'all. I could not have goaled my way to the life that I have today. The only reason my life I couldn't have vision boarded the life that I have today 3-4 years ago. The life that I have today is a result of me moving forward intuitively and intentionally on a daily and a weekly and a monthly basis and checking in with myself all the time on that, okay? Are y'all on board with this? Give me a 1 if you're committed to this, because here's the Matt Challenge, y'all. The Matt Challenge this week is for you to really check in with yourself and see, where am I living from? Am I being pulled outside of myself with this obsession and this fixation on crushing my goals, right? Am I trying to fit and shoehorn other people into my goals? And am I living and dying by my goals? Am I identifying and valuing myself based upon my physical results and whether or not I achieve my goals or not? Or am I operating from a space of intention? Can I commit to living intentionally with presence, with connection to my heart, right? With a fluidity and a softness and an ability to shift dynamically to stay in alignment, right? This is very important, right? Because when we operate with intentionality, we're fundamentally committing to feeling a certain way. We're committing to creating specific types of stuff in our lives, right? But we're not living and dying by it. Like, I set an intention to become a coach and a speaker. I didn't set a goal where I said, by X date, I will be a coach and a speaker. I set a broad, powerful intention and then began moving towards it one shaky step at a time, and allowed the life that that flowed from that intention to sort of build up around me. And that's the beauty of operating by intention, is that A, you're going to be more merciful on yourself. You're not going to beat yourself up. You're not living and dying on a weekly basis. You're not putting huge amounts of pressure on yourself, right, to accomplish this goal by this date. You're just patiently and lovingly moving forward. And one of the big key principles in operating intentionally is recognizing that timing is none of your business, right? It's releasing your timeline for when things have to be created. This is powerful. Yes, Sarah, Sarah states it perfectly. Better than I have so far. Goals are doing, intentions incorporate more being. Intentions are almost a way of being. Operating intentionally is a being space, right? And then your actions will flow from that. That's why I think being intentional and operating from a space of intentionality is fundamentally be, do, have, right? And operating from goals is fundamentally do, have, be. Point blank, y'all. So do you see the difference? Do you see how this is going to be a more organic, more expansive way to live? Charlene says, I've heard that not to have a vision board for that exact reason. Yeah, Charlene, I don't have a vision board anymore. I did in the very early days of my personal development process, but now I've kind of got the philosophy that a vision board would do nothing but narrow my perspective and what's possible for me in my life. I don't want anything limiting or pigeonholing what's possible for me in my life. I want to be moving towards what it is that I want to create, but also be open to so much more beautiful stuff coming in, like greater things moving in than I can possibly imagine. Intentionality allows for the divine to flow into our lives, and we're actually able to see it and experience it and embrace it beyond what we've created. Because here's the thing, whatever you think is possible for you in your life, whatever you think you're capable of creating, you are capable of creating so much more. There is so much more possible for you. Intention allows you to connect with your higher self. It allows you to be guided by something greater than you. Intention requires a great degree of trust. Trust in the universe's timing, right? Trust in the trajectory of the divine. Trust that no matter what is placed before you, that it's meant for you. It's a very powerful, connected way of living. And you still get stuff done, I promise. But your life becomes more of an organic, flowing journey, right? It's an open-minded way of manifesting. Exactly, Dana. It's connecting and drawing things into you rather than trying to force things into other people. Okay? So the Matt challenge for this week is to check in and ask yourself, am I living a harshly self-critical, goal-oriented, pound it until it happens life? Or am I operating from connected, grounded presence? Am I operating with conscious intention, right? Am I choosing faith? Am I choosing trust? Am I surrendering my need to try to control the timing of how things unfold in my life? Because here's the thing, y'all. Control is an illusion. You thinking you have control over the timeline of when things unfold in your life, whether that be love, whether that be career, whether it be whatever it is you want, is fundamentally setting yourself up for challenge, setting yourself up for disappointment, because that control doesn't exist. Okay? So there's something really powerful about operating intentionally, because on one level, it's a conscious act of surrender. Julie's asking, is this live? Yes, it is, Julie. So give me a 1 if you're on board with the Matt Challenge this week. Are you going to check in with yourself, and are you committed to shifting from a space of goal-oriented, masculine, push it through no matter what, even if it forces me outside of myself, everything's got to happen on my timeline, by my rules? Or are you going to commit to a softer way, a way of living intentionally, a way of operating with conscious, surrendered presence? Would that work for you, right? Stacy's in, Julie's in, Valerie's in, Heather's in. Give me a 1, y'all. Give me a 1 if you're on board with that. And Julie says my life is a disappointment. I mean, Julie, that's also a choice. You can choose to be disappointed by your life, or you can choose to reframe and reset the way that you're experiencing your world. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we're disappointed because we've created an expectation. We've created a fixed expectation of what we want to create, a fixed expectation of how things should be going. When you say my life is a disappointment, you're basically saying, I expected to have a certain outcome. I expected things to go a certain way. That didn't happen. And instead of being open to what that outcome or result is here to teach me, I'm choosing to take it personally. I'm choosing to be in judgment of that result. And I'm saying that result is wrong. That should not have happened to me. And Julie, there is so much freedom in releasing judgment from your outcomes. There's so much freedom in releasing the need to try to control how things happen to you. There is so much freedom in just saying, I don't care if I hit goals or not. You know, I don't care if I hit my goals. What I do care is that every day I operate with intention. Every day I take another step towards what it is that I want to create. Every day I stay in alignment. Every day I choose to be happy. Every day I step into how I want to feel. Because I'll tell you, there have been so many days and so much wild stuff that's flown around in my life, the outcomes I could have never possibly predicted, right? Results that I couldn't have anticipated, people that have flowed into my life, opportunities that have flowed into my life that I couldn't have, if I had had goals that I was operating from at the time, I would have dismissed or shut them out or not even have been open to them. You see what I'm saying? And so really, like, operating intentionally is a conscious act of surrender. It's a conscious act of surrender. So let's see what you guys are talking about. Dana says, I'm really embodying the work this time around. Exactly, Dana, and it's showing. It's showing, right? Courtney says, when I'm clear with intentions, I stop wasting my time on things and people that aren't in alignment with my path. Exactly, Courtney. This is the beauty of operating with intentionality, right? Is we cut out so much of the out of alignment actions and activities that don't accomplish what it is that we want. You know what I'm saying? They don't get us what we're doing, right? Let's see. Maluzi says, conscious intentional presence. I need this. No more forcing, fixing, pushing. Time for flowing. Get it, girl? That's what I'm talking about. Boom. Yeah, Dana says, I feel that operating from intention has allowed my experience to be more powerful. Yeah, and not just more powerful, right? But more organic, more flowing, more connected, more present. You know, you can tell people who speak intentionally versus people who speak unconsciously. You can tell people who are so wrapped up in their goals that they don't even know what's going on around them. That they don't even realize how unhappy that they are. Because here's the thing, y'all. I spent 10 years and $250,000 chasing goals, chasing my ego. Your ego loves goals, right? And where did it land me? It landed me in a tremendous amount of pain, self-sabotaging myself, on the verge of dying from drug use, you know? And it's all because I had allowed my ego and my egoic attachment to accomplishing outcomes and accomplishing goals to completely rip me so far outside of myself that I no longer had a life that was recognizable to who I am, to who I was. How many people do you know like that? Give me a 1 if you know people that have been chasing a specific goal or a specific outcome so hard for so long that they've completely disconnected from who they are, and they can't even understand why they're so unhappy. These people are so unhappy, and they're like, but I've spent all my life being so disciplined and being so goal-oriented. And it's like, well, yeah, that's why. You've been pursuing goals that aren't in alignment with who you are. You've built a life that isn't in alignment with who you are. You've gotten married and had a family with people that, you know, that this person wasn't in alignment with who you are. It was a goal. You brought someone into your life to accomplish a goal rather than checking in from a space of intentionality and asking myself, is this someone that I'm in alignment with? Is this someone that I want to build a life with truly? Or is this somebody that I'm just settling for because, you know, this is where I'm at and this is what I want and this person's in this place at this time, therefore, come on, let's go. I know a whole generation of my friends did that, and they all got married, then they had a kid or two, and then 80% of them got divorced. That's what happened to a lot of people in my circles. Right? And it was a sad thing. A lot of people I went to high school with, a lot of people I went to college with. They went through this whole cycle, and then there was this whole new crop of single people coming back out into the world in their mid-30s and having to do it all over again. And I'm like, man, what a tough lesson to learn, you know? I mean, mine was a tough lesson. It nearly cost me everything, you know? But I learned it. I learned it at the visceral level, Justine says, you beat yourself up unnecessarily and lose half your life or more. Yeah, you can. Boom. Valerie was lost. Voska says it's a miserable way to live. Yeah, it is. It's just not worth it. Valerie's been there, done that. Yeah. And so Carmela says, so intentions are based on the journey and flowing while staying true to your core, while goals are based on the result. Yes, goals are a lot of times where we put the cart before the horse and we're willing to sacrifice anything and everything in pursuit of the goal, because the goal becomes the sole target, rather than connecting with yourself and staying connected and grounded in yourself on your life's journey. Because truly, like, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. You think you know the direction in which your life is supposed to go? You think you know the best trajectory to accomplish that? How incredibly arrogant have we become as people to where we think we always know the greatest way to accomplish what it is that we want? Maybe, just maybe, there are additional possibilities out there that your tiny little human monkey brain hasn't thought of or hasn't been able to perceive or imagine or identify. And guess what? That's why we don't want to be addicted to goal setting. That's why we want to release that and instead embrace intentionality, alignment, presence, organic growth, surrender, openness, being the person you want to be, and allowing the life that's in alignment and congruent with that energy to flow into you, to flow into your space, to fill up the world around you like water in a pool. And your job is to receive that life and experience it and dance with it and flow with it. I love the analogy of water with this, because operating from intentionality truly is an act of flow. It's flowing with the things that are pouring into your life experience. And that's why I've been able to keep, shifting and dancing with life as it's thrown me so many different interesting twists and turns over the last 5-10 years. I mean, think about everything that I've experienced, that I've gone through. I was a public relations major, and then I had a terrible injury that made me not able to talk for a year. And then I went to law school, right? And became an attorney and did that for 3 years. And I was able to walk away from that. And then I moved back home and did sales, medical oxygen sales for a year. And then I moved across the country and took over a restaurant in San Diego where I had never lived before, and did that for 5 years and grew the sales of that restaurant tremendously. And then walked away from that and did property management and had a spiritual awakening and grew so much from that, and ended up traveling the world with a spiritual healer, and then discovered emotional intelligence training, and had an incredible breakthrough around that. And then stepped into leadership and coaching, which has brought me to where I'm at today, right? That was not a linear path. That was a path with a lot of left turns and a lot of loop-de-loops and a lot of detours and a lot of random things that didn't make sense at the time. But throughout every twist and turn of my journey, I flowed with it. I learned what it had to teach me. Some of my greatest lessons came from my biggest, mistakes, right? But they were not mistakes. They were all just beautiful thresholds and steps on my journey. And everything was always happening for me. And looking back now, I can see that and I can appreciate that. And the same thing is happening to you right now in your life. Even if things are happening that you don't fully understand, everything is always happening for you. It truly, truly is, right? And this is just the magic of this experience, And let's see, I want to look at some other comments here. Yeah, our tiny little monkey brains, they just want to pound everything into a box. But your life can't possibly fit in a box. You're too big for any box. You truly, truly are. Lou says, I just did that with my alcoholic adventure buddy. He wasn't in complete alignment with me, and I knew it, but I still moved forward because of scarcity. Fabulous sex, woo, and companionships. I'm responsible for that outcome. Exactly. And I mean, really, one of the best things about this is just taking responsibility for your life and the situations of your life and the experiences and outcomes in your life, and recognizing that nothing is anyone's fault, but everything is your responsibility. I'm a stand in this world and in this work for responsibility and ownership and not being the victim. You are not the victim of your life. You are the creator of every aspect of your life experience. And if you make a commitment to operating intentionally, to operating with conscious presence, to being able to move forward and just take steps, not knowing what the next step might be, just embracing consistent, committed, imperfect action and taking one step after another towards what it is that you want to create, while committing to enjoying the journey, while committing to staying aligned and present and joyful and conscious throughout the journey, your life is going to unfold exactly as it's supposed to, right? Exactly as it's happening for you, right? And the lessons that you're going to learn, it's going to be a shorter journey. It's going to be a shorter journey towards what it is that you want to create. If you're more fluid and more flexible and operating with intentionality rather than operating with rigid pass-fail goal setting, okay? Are you on board? Like Dana says, yeah, Don Lindsay says, I lost years, but I'm moving forward. And for Fosca says, for me, it was all about that. And now, instead of living to meet my parents' expectations, I'm living to be myself. How beautiful, Fosca. I absolutely love that. Yeah, like life is too short, y'all. Life is too short to spend it trying to hammer, our life into a goal box. When there's so much more possible for us if we're just willing to be intentional and we're willing to be open and we're willing to be fluid and we're willing to just surrender to the blessings and the beauty and the lessons and the growth and the expansion that life is flowing into us every day. Every experience and every person is waiting to teach you something if you're open to it. Are you on board with this, y'all? Give me a 1 if you're with me on this. Carmela says, I am the creator and my mind is open to change. Boom! Karen says, CCIA always comes up. Yes, it does. Sarah Flip is in. I know that. Intentions to move us forward. Boom! Sarah Flip, so good to see you, my dear. It's been ages. Dana says, oh yeah, I found out where my fear of scarcity came from. Woo-hoo. Get it, girl. Yes, I love these morning boosts too, Carmela. I absolutely do. So Courtney says, own it. Boom. Yeah, and so it is. It's all about ownership, radical responsibility. Just being clear, being grounded in that. And if you've got some beliefs, right, that the dating pool at our age stinks, right, or I've never accomplished this, therefore I'm never going to accomplish this. Those are the sort of beliefs, those are the sort of narratives, those are the sort of stories that will keep you in a box. Those are the sort of things that make the journey of life not fun, that make the journey towards creating relationship not fun. Life was meant to be fun. Life was meant to be an expansive journey. And you make a choice every day on whether or not you're going to honor that, or whether or not life is going to be just a drumbeat of goal self-flagellation. A lot of people spend their entire lives abusing themselves in the pursuit of goals, only to find out at the end of the day that even though they accomplished their goals, they're desperately unhappy. And it was so painful, the process of creating those goals was so painful that they actually feel depleted on the other side of it. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for any of you. I want your life to be a sustainable, expansive, organic journey, right? That's the beauty of the human experience. That's the beauty of the human experience. And it is available to each and every one of you, okay? And Carmela says, actively disposing that one. It's not true about the dating pool. I've dated many good men in all ages for years. Exactly. The people that you're bringing into your romantic life are a direct reflection of what you're putting out there energetically. They're a direct reflection of where you're at with your relationship with yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, you are the common denominator in the spectrum of people that you're bringing into your life. And as you do inner work, as you grow and shift and change and evolve and expand and fall in love with yourself more and learn to appreciate and have a greater degree of acceptance for yourself, watch how the people that show up in your life shift. Things change radically. As you transform, the people around you transform fundamentally. And it all starts with you setting an intention that things get to be different today than they were the day before. That things get to be different this week, rather than they were the week or the month before. Your life transforms with your intentions. Your life transforms with the focus of your consciousness. Your life transforms with your decision to release the illusion of control and this belief that you can pound and smash whatever you want into reality. Your life transforms when you make a choice that you don't need to force your world into creation. Are you with me? So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that this resonated with you, and I hope that you go out into the world, you take the Matt Challenge, and you choose, moving forward, to relax. Have fun with your life. Release your self-abuse of your goals. And instead say, you know what? I'm going to set some basic intentions this week. I'm going to set an intention to have fun. I'm going to set an intention to connect with some new people. I'm going to set an intention to move towards the life and the relationship that I truly know and understand and believe that I'm worthy of. And if I do have goals that are connected to those intentions, I'm not going to live and die by them. I'm not going to take them too seriously. I'm just going to use them as little steps towards what it is that I want to create. But the intention is the larger underlying thing. It's at the foundation of everything, okay? So, and release the why. Exactly, Heather. Nicole is in. I love it. Debs, intentional prayers. Yeah, I think prayer is an active focused intention. Prayer is, meditation is. These are powerful acts of focused intent, which is why they're so powerful, right? It's all just energy work. It truly is. It truly, truly, truly is. So there you go, ladies. I hope you enjoyed Mondays with Matt. I hope that you go out there, you operate with intention, and you go out there and you create the masterpiece of life that is waiting for you. And you, from a space of open, intentional presence, you attract in and are open to and receptive to all the miracles that are waiting for you out there in the world. Miracles far beyond your vision board, far beyond your list of goals that you've set for the fourth quarter of 2020. There's more waiting if you say so, if you're open to it, if you're ready for it, okay? Sarah says, I intend to be authentically myself and open to receiving all that's in alignment with that. Boom, Sarah Flip. I love it. Yeah, declare your intentions, y'all. Declare your intentions in the comments if you have any powerful ones. And thank you for showing up. If you're watching on YouTube, take a second to hit that little subscribe button and click the little bell so you get notified when I'm uploading new content. If you're watching this and you're not yet subscribed to the Shift Happens YouTube channel, I will post a link here so that you can connect with that. Very, very exciting. And thank you so much for stopping by for Mondays with Matt. I will see you next week and have a wonderful, wonderful night. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.